which is starting right now. We are part 2. Welcome.
Welcome back to Watches Weekly.
We hardly stopped at all. In that little pause, we went to
the
bathroom and Red Lobster, where they treated us for free meals because we mentioned them on our world famous podcast.
Yep.
Millions
and millions of downloads.
Millions and millions of downloads from our Red Lobster fans.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so our main topic today.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
For those of you who don't know, superheroes are kind of a big deal now.
Really?
Yeah, I know they're kind of everywhere.
I don't think we'd have a job if they weren't.
Yeah, we wouldn't. Even though our job has nothing to neither of our jobs.
Shut up, man.
Yeah, this is our job. This is all we do.
This is my passion.
We only exist while the show is going. But
well, I'm married. So
well
that's pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Just gonna throw that out there.
I'm married. I love my wife.
I actually love
but
my wife.
Outside of loving wives, a really great thing that just came out is Netflix released a new television series called Jessica Jones.
Yeah. Cool.
And Jessica Jones is based off of the comic book called Alias, aka Jessica Jones,
with Marvel Comics.
And they've adapted it to the television screen, the small screen, in a very if you like Daredevil, it's like that same kind of.
It's in the same world, obviously
same
MCU,
major MCU
verse.
Mm-hmm.
So they're ramping up. They did Jessica Jones, and you've probably heard that they're gonna do a Luke Cage.
Yep.
And I just read an article saying that they're still doing Iron Fist.
They are still doing it.
Yep.
We talked about it last episode.
They are still developing it. They're just I don't know what else
they're trying to. Well, Iron Fist is a tough lot of balls in the air for that one. You got to juggle a lot of weird things with Iron Fist. So.
Ryan Gosling. Anyways.
Yep, Ryan Gosling. That's who you want?
Yeah.
I don't want Ryan Gosling.
Actually, I don't either.
I want someone. I want someone we've never seen before. That's who I want.
Someone new?
I want someone new. Someone who could really make it their own.
That's my fault.
Yeah, someone who could really make it their own. But anyway, Jessica. We're talking about Jessica Jones.
So 13 episodes tells a story.
Mm-hmm. All on
you
Netflix.
already know that. All on Netflix. Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. First of all, we'll do some non-spoiler.
Cool.
We'll try to keep it non-spoiler as possibly can.
Sure.
Remember, if you don't want to know what's going on, stop the video now.
Yep.
Take a couple days, watch Jessica Jones.
Binge watch it up.
So on the off chance that we accidentally spoil
13
something.
hours of your life.
Yeah, and then we'll come back and you can talk to us about it.
Should we tell them if it's worth it?
Yeah, we tell them. Let's tell them. Okay, so Zamripa, my man.
What's up?
Do you think that Jessica Jones is worth the time to watch? Yes or no?
Yes, but not all at once.
Yes, but
it's a great story. It's quite more serious than anything Marvel has put out. And I don't think it should be watched back to back. I think it kind of took away from the story. I needed time to process each episode, and which is saying something because I could binge watch Marvel movies all day, or like Daredevil, for instance. Mm-hmm. But the story and the depth and the fact that I really didn't know this character that much made me miss a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not appreciate it as much as I could because I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts until we get to more.
Okay. If it's worth watching it, I say, of course it is. Watch it. Take the time. Ingest it. However, I agree with my colleague here because trying to hit that all at once, it's probably not the best. Even
for this certain story.
Even I wasn't like super well versed in Jessica Jones. Not because I'm a Luke Cage fan and know a little bit more of Jessica Jones, but at the same time, even I was like, wow, that's a lot in a couple episodes. I watched it over a course of a couple days. I didn't marathon it. Not because I wanted to, but just because there was like life that I had to do in between.
Right? Yeah, I did that too.
So it kind of just turned out that way. And I think I enjoyed it a little better. A couple things to throw out there. Daredevil in the small screen MCU, and that's how I'm referring to it right now.
Sure,
the small screen MCU because they kind of like have their own way of doing things. In the small screen MCU scale of things, Daredevil is definitely the violence. And then Jessica Jones is the sex and language. Like, so if you are, like, if that sort of stuff is, like, not your cup of tea, like, if sex and language and, like really.
There is violence.
Yeah,
too.
like there's violence, but not as visceral as in the first. There's gore. Gore exists in this one, and we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Sure.
But it's a little bit more like you'd see in. There's very little straight up violence. In Daredevil, it's a martial arts television show.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of punching, a lot of kicking, a lot of knees to the face, a lot of bones being broken. You see all of that happening as it's happening.
Right.
In Jessica Jones, there's a lot of implied stuff, a lot of things you see after the fact. You see a lot of bodies, but you don't necessarily see a lot of bodies being made. And I think there's a difference in that. Do you disagree?
I disagree.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
There were many times throughout the series where there's some pretty violent isn't the word, but definitely gore.
Yeah, there's a lot of gore. There's a lot of
let's say brutal ways of death being shown, which I think was quite different than, well, maybe not. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't seen Daredevil, you should go watch it. It's great.
It's great.
But at one point in it, the main villain, Kingpin, decapitates a guy through a car, and you don't really see, like,
you hear it.
You hear it,
and you
which
see
is
it
enough.
happening, but you don't see the head.
Yeah. But in Jessica Jones, I feel like they would have shown it.
They could have, but they didn't, and that's where I'm saying,
You know,
the difference lies. Is that
don't you remember the guy?
Well, yeah. I'm just saying that in Jessica Jones,
Sure.
you don't, like, a lot of the violence is either implied off screen. There is very much violence happening.
Sure.
It does happen. It's not saying it doesn't exist, because it's definitely in there.
Okay.
You're gonna see some brain splatter. You're gonna see some stabbing. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna see it. But
It's pretty mature.
yeah, it's pretty mature. But
It's probably the most mature thing that's come out from the MCU.
But I said the one thing that you're going to find a lot shocking between Jessica Jones and Daredevil and the rest of the MCU is the amount of sex and language.
Okay,
like if you're
that's the most sexual language that's been in
anything. So I think that's the one thing that because if you've already watched Daredevil, then the violence in Jessica Jones isn't going to shock you.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it isn't going to shock you
because
you've seen it. But, like, the sex and language is a big part of it.
Yeah, it is.
So just be wary. Like, be wary of that if that's something that you don't want to see.
It's
or
like the first episode.
Like, the first 3 episodes is like Game of Thrones. They try to get you hooked on.
I mean,
you don't see any new. You see a lot of back. You see a lot of back. A lot of sex. Make the TV back. You know the TV sex back, like in all the like CW.
I don't think we need to explain.
No, in the CW. No, I'm gonna explain it.
No.
In the CW.
I don't think our viewers
are gonna learn about this.
Okay.
In the CW,
talking about birds and the bees.
Oh yeah, for you kids, you can. Well, this is Walker's Weekly After Dark for you adults. And in any sex scene on the television you see, you just see the back. You just see of the woman, the back of the woman. And that's it. They only show you the back, but it implies that she's naked because you don't see her bra on.
Right.
That's pretty much the amount of nudity you see in this movie.
Okay.
Just a lot of back, a lot of different colored backs, and a lot of backs in everybody's scenario.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yep, that is definitely in there.
So you don't have to worry about seeing any bits, but the action of sex is very much on display.
You think it was used well?
I think so.
Because I think it's okay if it's used correctly in the story.
I think so. I would say that, and this is still non-spoilers, because I'm not telling you who's having sex. People are. But I think it is. Part of me says it in the first 3 episodes.
I thought it was too soon.
I feel like it was a little much right off the bat, but I know they were trying to get you hooked on it. Because Daredevil gives you all, like, these violent... Like, the fight scenes in Daredevil are pretty, like, right off the bat. And that was its main selling point. Was its martial arts.
Yeah.
So, it kind of seemed weird that, like, the first thing they tried to sell a female character on was how much... Like, look at the sex we can have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Because this is actually the first actual
Marvel female lead.
Media.
Yeah.
A TV show.
Yeah, and the first Marvel lead character in anything. Right. Like, even Black Widow is just a little bit of supporting character and everything she's in.
Yeah.
So, like, the first thing we do with a female lead character in Marvel is to, like, show how much she can have sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
didn't really like that.
So that's
I know that's her character. I know that kind of makes sense.
It's not. I mean, that's the thing. It's not even really her character.
Okay, tell me why.
In Alias, Jessica Jones, yes, she has sex,
Sure.
But that's not the majority of what the comic book's about. And that's not even what the first issue's about.
Yes, it is. In Alias?
In Alias?
Okay,
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. But, like, I don't remember her as, like, oh, I'm just going to go out and pick up some guy from a bar every time I feel like it.
We should do that in the show. We find out later why
doing stuff. But anyway, to keep the non-spoilerness in it, I just thought it seemed a little...
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm not trying to defend anything,
there's a part
and
of me,
I agree.
Yeah, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, well, like she's a woman, girl power. If she wants to have, she wants to bring a dude and like do that, and like, why shouldn't she do that? And I can understand people who would say that, but at the same point in time, Daredevil never did that.
No, yeah,
we didn't have to establish that. Yeah, Daredevil was doing it. We knew that he could. And even Foggy Nelson said, you always know who the pretty girls are, and you always get the pretty girls. And that's it. That's all we had.
Yeah.
That's all we needed. And even like when him and Night Nurse, spoilers for Daredevil, but him and Night Nurse...
They do it?
They don't, but like, they had that romantic moment. But
which I thought was great. We didn't need them having sex. We didn't need it to make the story. But I think, we see Jessica Jones, this like hot-headed...
hard-drinking, hard-loving lady.
Right.
And that's like... But all that to say is...
reminds me of this is really like a trucker.
Yeah. Or PI. I think like she's like a female version
I think she's a great PI.
Yeah. So I think, all in all, we were talking about the sex because it's really hard to get away from that because that's a big part of the show, at least in the first couple episodes.
Right.
But we can move on from that. But just in conclusion of the sex conversation, I think that it might have been used a little too quickly. I think it would have been better if we built into that. Maybe give us 2 or 3 episodes of just like getting to know her a little better. And then maybe throwing that in there. At least, maybe not the fact that she has sex, but the scene of it as well. Like, we could have her waking up from a dude's place and rolling over and being like, okay, I gotta go. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, like, for the actual scene of lovemaking, give us some time to get invested in the character before you put her in that situation, or him in that situation, per se. Because then we can have a little bit more like, oh, wow, this is happening.
Right.
All that to say, those are in there. You can watch them. They're pretty intense. The 2 ones, not intense, not like crazy intense, but intense enough. What did you think?
What did you think of? Let's talk about the actress who plays Jessica Jones.
What's her name again?
Kristen Ritter.
Kristen Ritter. I like her.
Yeah, I thought she was great.
I thought she did a great job. She's
in Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm, she's in Breaking Bad. She's in Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 19 or whatever. 319. So it's some sitcom.
2319.
She's good. I think that there was a bold move going with her.
I think so too.
I think that it's cool to show different body types in genre. I know people try to move away from like the traditional comic book body type because it's impossible for a woman to like live up to that standard.
Right, yeah.
But for me, Jessica Jones always seemed like an average sized woman, not like a voluptuous Wonder Woman kind of perfect woman,
right?
But like an average woman,
right? Body type. I didn't think Jessica did.
And I don't think
Kirsten Ritter did that.
No, she her body type is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But for me, she's still like the very skinny, very kind of lady.
Right.
So to me, it was like, okay, we're not ready for maybe a little overweight,
right?
But like still pretty, but still healthy. But by media standards, we're not ready for an average woman to be.
Agent Carter's kind of like that.
Agent Carter's kind of like that, and but Agent Carter didn't do super well in the. Yeah. So like,
sorry,
that's just me thinking. That's just me thinking
sure.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
But she did great. She was a great actress.
I thought she was great. I thought she was a good.
Mm-hmm.
She portrayed the character well.
Yeah, I thought so. They took out the smoking.
Yeah. So she drinks a lot. You see that in the series. She drinks. She also smokes a lot, but they took that out.
They took that out. Which is
but
I'm surprised too.
They wanted that to be cool. They wanted it to be.
Yeah, because she's still supposed to be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they probably took it out because
smoking isn't sexy anymore.
That's what I was gonna say. Sorry, yeah, smoking isn't sexy anymore.
Yeah,
watching this character who definitely would smoke, not do it. Yeah, so that's probably why they didn't want to turn off the viewer.
And too many vices.
Right.
But I see what I would rather her, even though the drinking is kind of like the go-to vice of choice.
Sure.
I think it would have been more interesting to see her smoke. because they would have automatically put us off of her as a person. Because
Right,
Robert
exactly.
Downey Jr. drank throughout every single Iron Man
Yeah.
movie. And
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
oh, isn't he a fun-loving, boozing guy?
I'm pretty sure he had a cigar too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, so like if you were to like make her a smoker,
Right.
we instantly would be like, it's just girls like living on the edge.
Those girls.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it would have been easier to throw that in there. So, still no spoilers. We're still killing it in that way.
Killing it.
As opposed to like before when we were like, we're not going to tell you any spoilers.
David
Darth Vader
Tennant
dies.
is the Purple Man.
David Tennant.
But they
How did
refer to
you feel?
him as Kilgrave.
As his last name from the
As
comics.
his last name from the comics.
Mm-hmm. What did you feel about Kilgrave?
I love David Tennant.
Mm-hmm.
He scared the crap out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Tension was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I liked his portrayal without getting into spoilers, I guess.
Yeah.
In the first few episodes, you kind of have the mystery of
Mm-hmm.
you don't really see his face in the first like 3 or 4 episodes. You're like, who is this guy that they're referring to throughout the series?
Yeah, that was really good.
The reveal
Was great.
was great.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
His power set was interesting.
Yeah.
His power set was interesting. For those of you who don't know who Kilgrave is, the Purple Man is, look it up. Like, take the time. Or don't. Or you can watch the movie or watch the TV show fresh and not know anything that's going on.
Or if
I think it's a little... Yeah. I think knowing a little bit about Jessica Jones going in might help you.
Yeah.
Just because they don't tell you anything.
Yeah, they don't really. It's really like you're placed in this world.
You just have to figure it out.
And I think it's... How am I supposed to say this? It's like... I think it's the furthest thing from an actual superhero show
That they've made.
That they've made. And I love it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's great.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is if you're expecting Daredevil, if you're expecting Avengers fighting, if you're expecting any of that, it's not that. It's not that at all. I think it's more... I think I would call it more of a detective show.
It's a much more of a detective show.
It's not really a superhero show. It's a detective show, and she
happens to have superpowers, and in a world where there are other superheroes.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Any other non-spoiler things you want to talk about? Nope.
Let's get to it.
We're gonna get to it. All right. So for those of you who don't want to know what's going on, Jessica Jones, stop now.
Stop.
Did you stop?
Burrito.
Yeah, grab the Infinity Burrito. And then come back to us later.
The Infinity ingredients.
All right, let's talk about it. First big spoiler, which is not even that big of a spoiler because he's in the trailer, but I just wanted to talk. I didn't want to say it just in case someone hadn't seen the trailer and wanted to look for the first time.
Sure.
Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Luke Cage is of Power Man fame.
Okay.
Is in the show.
Yeah.
As himself, as Luke Cage.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's great. Love it.
I
Actually,
love Luke Cage.
I'm like, after seeing Jessica Jones, he's in it a lot.
Yeah, he's in a lot.
Even in the last episode, he's in it. I am so excited for his, probably more than what I've just watched for Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
His acting was the best. I loved the bar fight scene.
Okay, I want to talk about the bar fight scene real quick.
Let's talk about it.
In one of the episodes, I think it's episode 3 or 4.
Sure.
There's a fight at a bar because Luke Cage was sleeping with this guy, his wife, even though he didn't know. But
she was married.
Yeah, she was married. But so the guy shows up with a bunch of his friends.
Right.
And in the middle of the day, if I remember correctly.
Nope, it was dusk.
It was dusk. Like the sun was setting.
The sun was setting. And it's a dark bar, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, and like came in and tried to beat up Luke Cage.
Yeah, they were like, we're going to beat you up then.
And so then Luke Cage was like, hey, no, guys, stop, please, no.
You're drunk, you're not thinking straight, just walk away now.
And then they try to fight him, and then a bar fight ensues where Jessica Jones and Luke Cage beat up all these guys at the bar.
Right, yeah.
And it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
See, watching Luke Cage like just hit people's hands away like he's bored.
You see him slap one person?
He slapped that guy.
He was just like, his body didn't even move, and I'm like, yes.
He just slapped him.
He's just more annoyed.
Yeah.
He's just like, someone comes up behind him with a bottle and just smashes on his head. You see his eyes roll. Like, oh, God,
it's like if you've ever
I'm sick of dealing with this crap.
If you've ever babysat a
yes!
bunch of kids.
That's exactly how it is.
He was just like, get off me. Oh, come on, kids. Stop trying to tackle me. Like, you're not going to win.
I love it.
But the part I wanted to talk about more specifically was when the guy...
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
The guy, he slammed a bottle over his head.
Right.
And then after he saw it didn't do anything, he took the bottle and tried to jam it into Luke's neck. And it breaks, obviously, because Luke Cage has unbreakable skin.
Right.
And then like they win the fight, and they're like, they say, "Go home. You're drunk. Go home." And I was like, "This man just tried to murder you."
Actually, murder you. We knew as the
audience that
as
it
the
wasn't going to work.
audience.
But like, and if you've never seen Luke Cage before, then you wouldn't have known that was going to happen.
Fair enough.
But even still,
murder. They all were there.
Like,
at the
they're
intent
ready to kill
someone. They were drinking.
Yeah, they were drinking,
and then the irresponsibility of Luke Cage being like, get out of my bar and walk home. I think those guys would be like,
gonna go and kill his wife.
Yes, I'd be like,
dead.
Yes.
Not to mention, I don't care how drunk that he was. You try to say that everybody in that bar didn't be like, yo, you just try. He's like, free shots for everybody. And I'm like, is everyone just going to be super quiet about the attempted murder in the room?
I know. What if we were in that bar? I would just wait. Yeah, I would raise my hand. Matt raised his hand.
I'd raise my hand and be like, excuse me, sir. That man just tried to shank you.
I'm calling BS. I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, I'm calling the cops. That guy tried to kill you.
He's like, no.
Then we don't call the cops.
Break our necks.
Yeah, don't call the cops. I'll give you free drinks.
No. I'm under 21.
Well, yeah, you can't make me. You can't make me do anything I don't want to do. And like, so that was
no. You know what I would do? I'd be like, free drinks for life.
Yeah, for life, and I won't call the police.
And I won't do anything.
Like, are you threatening me? Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes,
I am.
Cage.
Are you gonna kill me because you didn't kill the guy who just tried to kill you?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm okay.
I feel like I'm gonna be fine.
But speaking of their powers and fighting and things like that,
sure, okay.
And Luke Cage, because this is more spoilers. I think that their powers fluctuated so wildly. Yeah. That was the one thing that people were like, "Oh, it's better than Daredevil. Oh, it's better than this, and the other thing." It's not that good. It's good. It's good, but it's not that good.
I think you need to go in looking at this show as, like I said, not a superhero show. You need to go into it. This is a crime drama. You need to look at the characters that just so happen to have powers. But let's talk about their powers fluctuating.
Yeah.
Okay, here is a part. Okay, so in the show they capture Kilgrave.
Yep, they capture him.
Okay, so they're in the van and somehow they get followed by
some
bunch of
bodyguards.
I'm talking at least 7 to 10 people.
Yeah, I would say 10 seems right.
Yep, and so.
And this is Jessica Jones,
a
cop friend, and then Trish.
Luke, who we'll talk about.
And then Trish.
Who's Patty Spivot.
Yeah.
Or not, wait, that's
Patsy. Yeah, whatever. We continue.
Anyways. So, in this fight, they immediately go to Jessica Jones and try to tase her. Oh, no. So they're just fighting. Just picture them fighting. And Jessica Jones, like, throws them off. And they just get back up again.
Always.
They were hit pretty hard. Like, she can hit very, very hard. And I think the second time around, she'd be like, oh, usually it's only one punch.
Yeah.
Like, these guys aren't powered at all. They're just regular Joes.
Regular dudes. And they might be built, but like really good
they might
exercised.
Be built, but they just keep getting up from getting hit by Jessica. And then all of a sudden they overpower her with like these tasers and she gets knocked out. I thought that was ill portrayed.
Yeah. And there was so many, they kept tasing her, and she just kind of fell on the ground. I was like, oh no. And I feel like she didn't have any like real fight to her.
No.
Like, you could have broken some dude's arms and legs. And
even the other human, not with superpowers, lasted longer
than she did.
Than her, which I thought was dumb.
Also, there's another fight scene where Luke and Jessica Jones are fighting a group of just loan shark thugs.
Right, yeah.
Like, just loan shark thugs. And they're, like, punching them and they're getting back up, and they're punching them and they're getting back up. And I'm like, you just 3 episodes ago cleared a room full of rugby players with about the same amount of combat experience as loan shark thugs.
Right.
Like they were nothing. You backhanded a man through a table.
Right.
And now these people are just like be able to fight with you on par, like they're holding you down.
Yeah.
And later on, Jessica Jones with super strength tries to push Luke Cage, and he pushes her across the street without breaking a sweat, just walking.
That's dumb.
You know what I mean?
It's very fluctuating.
Their powers seem to wax and wane depending on what the story needed.
Are they like, exactly.
Yeah.
They just did it to what the story needed, and I call it BS.
And that's what I didn't
That's a new thing I'm doing on the show.
Call
BS when things are obviously dumb in TV shows.
Because, like, sometimes Jessica Jones can hold a grown man against the wall and then have them struggle and they can't move.
Right.
And then other times, she's getting knocked out by a 2x4.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting by a girl, some random girl knocks her out with a 2x4. And I'm just like... And she's, like, fighting against some guy, some, like, suit guy and an advertising agency who used to drive Kilgrave around. I'm sitting there going, like, these people aren't even... Now, these people aren't even soldiers. They're not bodyguards. They're not loan shark thugs. They're just people.
Yeah.
And, like, you're fighting in the doorway. Like, oh, no, get off me. Stop pushing me. No, you have a super strength.
You should have taken these
like,
guys
in
out.
Smallville,
Right.
Clark never got moved.
Yeah.
He never got moved.
Yeah.
If the person moved him, it was either because they had super strength and he wasn't ready for them to have super strength.
Exactly.
Or there was kryptonite involved. Or he didn't have his powers.
Right.
Literally those 3 times.
Yeah.
Any other time else, brick wall. If you in the football episode, someone tried to hit him and they just like,
which would happen with Jessica Jones.
Because she's more stronger than even
we are not like lowering her ability.
So
we're saying like her ability was not portrayed
consistently.
Consistently.
Because if she was always like, oh, I can maybe take out 2-3 guys to be fine.
Right.
That's one thing. But she's literally throwing people through walls in one scene, and then she can't fight 2 regular dudes in the next scene because they need her to be distracted. And I just feel that it's insane and dumb.
Yeah.
So that's weird. Luke Cage did the same thing. His powers fluctuated. At one time, he can like throw Jessica Jones around like it's no problem. The next scene, she can take him out.
I know.
And like it seemed random and unnecessary.
I think they're just not using it. It felt like, wait, are they not wanting to use their powers all the way?
Yeah, like you weren't quite sure what was
going
going on.
I feel like they don't really care about the bones that they're breaking.
Yeah.
But it really
Jessica Jones doesn't seem like the kind of person who'd be like, oh, I don't want to punch these thugs out.
Like so in Daredevil, in parallel, you see Daredevil fighting a hallway of dudes, right? Mm-hmm. And he like hits them as a boxer pretty dang hard.
As hard as he can.
You can feel their bones breaking. Mm-hmm. But these thugs still get up and fight, which makes sense.
Because he's just another dude.
But these guys, that's way more believable than Jessica Jones and Luke Cage with super strength hitting them once, basically just throwing them. Mm-hmm. But it looks so fake. It looks very...
Her super strength, that was the other thing I was going to say. Her super strength, and his too, looked really, really cheesy.
It looks
super
cheesy.
And it's hard to do... Her flying.
Well, you didn't see her flying.
You saw her like do like the little jump thing, and the camera would kind of like cut away a little bit.
Yeah, I hated that.
I hated it.
I was like, why can't we see her flying?
Because they couldn't afford it.
Are you for reals?
Yeah, it was
You're
dumb.
owned by Disney.
Yeah, it just seemed bad.
The
special effects. The special effects in the whole movie just seemed bad.
Yeah.
In the whole show.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed bad.
Yeah, I feel like, I agree with you that they did not have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like superpowered people, maybe that's why Iron Fist isn't getting developed that much. Because there's a lot of special effects. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we don't have a lot of money for this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should.
But glowing stuff is like something you can do in After Effects.
Right.
A glowing fist, but like throwing a guy requires wires, requires breakaway walls, requires all this other stuff that you can't really animate.
I guess. Come on, Marvel.
So
throw some more money to this if you want it to be good.
The storyline was good.
Yep, I thought it was good.
The storyline was good. And what else can we talk about? Kilgrave. What did you think about the end?
Okay, so spoiler about the end. So his powers got developed more to where he could be in like what is it, like 30, like 500 feet away from you, and if he yelled out,
you could control
it. And he could do it over a microphone. He could control you. I didn't like it. So he died.
Yeah,
so
Jessica Jones
broke his neck at the end, and I think that needed to happen. But so let me say this: like, the whole series, I feel like could have been done in 8 episodes instead of 13. I sadly, which is what I didn't want, got bored Like the whole side story with the lawyer and her wife
Was boring.
Was boring.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the story's okay, but it was unnecessary, and I was bored, and I was like, you could have taken this out.
And gave us more Jessica Jones, gave us more Kilgrave,
yeah,
gave us more Luke Cage, gave us more anything Daredevil cameos.
Yeah, anything besides that. So what I'm saying is, the reason why she doesn't kill him right away is because she wants him to like confess to everything that he's done, to everything that the girl did, or he made the girl do. But I thought we got really, really gypped when the girl got out of prison and then killed herself.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm going to kill him now after 10 hours of watching this. And after that, I kind of was really upset.
I said to myself, like, he would just tell her not to do that.
Exactly.
Step forward, stop. Step forward, don't do that. Or step forward, stop moving. I'm going to go. Or fight Jessica.
Anything else
other than nothing and running.
I don't know why she killed herself too.
Because
she knew that. So really, the real hero of this entire show is that girl
for killing herself.
Because she was mature enough to be like, Jessica, you're an idiot
for not killing him.
You needed to kill him hours ago, days ago.
All that
to make you realize this. I'm gonna have to kill myself. Yeah. So you suck.
You did this
so much. Yeah.
This is what I said, and this is how I feel.
Okay.
I don't think he should have been killed. I think that was
I don't think so either.
I don't think they were being able to maintain David Tennant. I don't think they were going to be able to keep him, which is why they killed him.
I agree.
I think what they should have done and what they needed to do was break his jaw.
I thought, why didn't she just do that? That's what I thought too. Like he punched. Okay. Keep going, and I want to add to something about the jaw.
If she broke his jaw, and honestly, even in that time when she'd grab his neck,
right
at the end to snap it, just take your other hand and literally just press down on his mouth,
right,
until it cracks and crumbles until it's just like paste,
right.
But he's still alive. That way, we have the tension brewing of what if he gets better? What happens to the Purple Man when he gets better?
Exactly.
Because he can't talk, so he can't control people.
Exactly.
But we know that that's only a matter of time. You put him in jail, and then it's just a matter of time before he escapes. And it allows us to have a villain that we can be scared of coming back. But when you kill him, you suffer from Spider-Man problems, Spider-Man movie problems, where all your villains are dead at the end of every series or every movie, and then we have no villain to
get excited about.
To
speculate about.
Because we were going to talk about Nuke. You said Nuke.
Yep.
And that whole IGM
right
secret shadowy organization. But I don't want another secret shadowy organization. We already have Hydra. I don't need another one.
And if you're watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they literally... It's really dumb.
Yeah.
Everything is literally a sub-organization of Hydra. Okay, so I'm gonna jump off that.
Yeah, jump off that.
I thought him dying at the end was BS, and here's why. Yes, she should have just broken his jaw because one, I feel like everything that he did, which was horrible. You're gonna actually hate David Tennant after you watch this.
Quite a bit.
Everything that he did deserved some kind of justified punishment to make him suffer just as much as everyone. And I think breaking his jaw would have been perfect because she would have just been like, "You're done. You're gonna be put away for a really, really long time."
Even if she couldn't prove that he did anything,
exactly, because apparently it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Apparently everything else that he did to everyone else, which was equally as horrible as to this.
He made me try to kill myself.
In one of the scenes, he made a guy cut his dad apart and to shove down a garbage disposal.
Now, you don't see the actual cutting, but you see the bloody arm.
You see the hand. And I was like, this guy doesn't deserve just a quick death.
Yeah.
Which I thought was just a jip. And I was like, that's lame. Every Marvel villain dies. So here's my other thing about the jaw breaking. So I already talked about when they captured him for the very first time. When they were like, we're not going to kill him. We're going to put him in this soundproof thing. and it's gonna be fine. She like punches him
really
in
hard.
the face. Again, like fluctuation of strength.
Power.
That should have
broken
his jaw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she could help back.
I think.
I don't think she has control of her powers like that.
I think a broken jaw was just a better decision to make story-wise because it leaves it more open for us, the viewer.
Exactly.
And there's a lot more things. There's so many people because they kept like, we need him. The whole point was that they need to keep him alive so they can prove that he could do what he could do in order to prove it in court. But I honestly think that if you get enough people, you get everybody in that support group, you get the cook and the maid, you get the anybody to be like testify in court.
Right.
Like, look at all these people that don't know each other. We're not making any money off of this.
Right. This is real.
I didn't want to kill myself. I didn't want to do that. He made me do that. And like a good defender would be like, well, this seemed like circumstantial and all that stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's like, still, you can be like, if enough media attention got to this point, you can get S.H.I.E.L.D. involved, you can get other people involved.
Exactly.
I mean, like, Jessica Jones doesn't know any of those people, and I think that's one of the problems.
Right.
Is that right now we have no connection between those two.
Right.
But the idea that proving, and they already got him on camera telling his mom to kill each other.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as that happened, I would have taken that tape and freaking left. There is no reason to hunt him down.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for any of that because it was on the recording.
Exactly.
They already got it.
Yep.
Unless I'm missing a scene where they break the tape.
Right after they got that tape, they were like, "All right, we're gonna go," because the lady was there, or his parents. But then he got so angry.
He told her to stab. Yeah.
And then they were gonna electrocute him, but the lawyer lady
cut the line,
and that's why.
But then they saw it though. They saw him. They were videotaping that.
Right.
So there should be still a video in that camera.
Did they take it?
No one took it. That's the thing that bothered me, and that was one of the reasons why I said that's like a huge
Jessica
pop.
Jones leave?
Yeah, because remember he left. He said, "Put a bullet in your brain,"
right,
and ran. And he said, "Dad, cut your heart out and run." Jessica Jones ran after him. He's like, "Let go of me, Jessica."
Oh yeah,
and then he did it, and then he said, "Tackle her," which once again was stupid because she just gets tackled by this normal human old black man. Side note: don't be an old black man in the MCU. You will die.
You will die. I wanted to talk about that, man. Oh man, I wanted to say
you
I'm
will
like
die.
They're bringing back the typical. The only black guy in the series is gonna die.
If you are an old black, this is not 1997.
Or a reporter.
Yeah, this is not 1997. Wise old black men will die. All of you.
Oh my god.
Morgan Freeman needs to run away from the MCU because your character will die.
You will die.
But anyway, like he doesn't grab the tape. She doesn't grab the tape.
Exactly.
Bullet in the brain girl doesn't grab. Trish doesn't put a bullet in your head.
Yeah.
She doesn't take the tape.
Yeah.
The lawyer doesn't take the tape.
Yeah.
Because she runs away and after he starts getting stabbed, she runs away.
Right.
Nobody takes the tape.
That's really dumb.
And that's and it's from that scene on, my whole thought, because then everything gets burned up.
Right.
And then I was just like,
why didn't
you have the evidence you need? You don't have to chase him anymore.
There was dad. There was the cop. There was Jessica. Yeah. There was
he could run away. Let him run away and heal his freaking wounds. And at least
you had this tape.
You have the proof. You could send anybody you want after him.
Wow.
So for me,
biggest plot hole.
To me that bugged me. It bugged me so much
that
I didn't. That's why I said it's a good show, but it's not as good as Daredevil because that glaring thing and the fact that their power fluctuated so much.
I don't know, man.
Was just
I think I'm changing my view on this.
Oh yeah.
From talking about this, I think this. I don't think it was that good.
It was a swing and a miss in writing because their powers fluctuated so much.
Exactly.
That huge plot hole. Other plot holes. The ending was I think too safe. Too safe.
I wasn't very visually stimulated as I was with Daredevil with the fight scenes
because the fight scenes were so good.
And the fight scenes with Jessica were really lame because you're like, oh, this superpowered girl, she's just gonna knock through.
And it's a lot of throwing people.
And it's a throwing people, and they literally get up and she throws them again.
And then I'm like, and that's once again because Kristen, whatever her name is, Ritter is just such a small girl, and like she doesn't have a lot of combat training in any of her roles that she's been in previously.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, her character doesn't.
Yeah, but like even
character.
but even like just basic punching, kicking, like no on screen fighting skills. So
Right.
all of her punches seemed really fake. All of her throws seemed really fake.
Right.
You know, as compared to Daredevil, which was a lot of martial arts. So
Sure.
all in all, watch it. Like I said, watch
You
it.
should
Take
watch
the
it
time.
and tell us what you think of
Take
it.
the time. I liked it. I liked it.
Would you want to see it? Would you want to see season 2?
No. Like that's what I said. I liked it. If it was standalone, I was gonna say that. If it was standalone, like if this was the only thing they ever did, that's just fine with me. Do I want to watch season 2 of Jessica Jones? No,
I don't either.
I don't. Like it didn't. I'd rather watch Daredevil 2.
It really, really sucks because I was really excited for a female lead,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think people are just good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Good at making female lead characters. I mean, it's really surprising because Josh Whedon is kind of a part of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I think people are getting up on it and they want to make it better than it is.
Sure.
Because, like, I don't want to say because she's a girl, because she's a female lead, but I think there's a part of me that thinks that people are making this a lot better than it, saying it's a lot better than it is because David Tennant is in it.
Sure.
And people love Doctor Who.
Which definitely got people in.
Yeah, because people don't, and David Tennant did such a great job, but also because it's a female lead,
right?
And because it's not like any superhero show you've ever seen, and it's dark and edgy, and so it's just like, oh, let's give it all this praise. I think this is what my call.
Okay,
this is my call. Jessica Jones is going to be the Phantom Menace of the MCU.
Oh no!
People are going to like it when it first comes out because they don't take the time to think about it.
Okay.
Like they don't take the time to think about it, and when they go back and watch it again or think about it again, they'll be like, you know what? Actually, though, this probably wasn't really good.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I think.
That's what I think too. All right, well, watch it. Thank you for listening to us rant about it.
Yeah.
If you have any other things, there's other stuff that we could talk about it, but I think we're going to end it around here. I think we're going to do one little last thing.
So we got a couple more stuff to talk about at the end. What are we reading?
Okay.
This is the What Are We Reading segment. We talk to you what are we reading, what are we watching, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so this week, before I left for my Thanksgiving endeavors, I picked up a copy of the first issue of The Dark Knight Rises 3, The Master Race by Frank Miller.
That sounds kind of racist, but continue.
The Dark Knight.
The Master Race.
I didn't think of it that way.
I don't know. Anytime I've ever heard The Master Race,
I don't think like that.
The first thing I think of is Hitler.
I think that when I think of Master.
The Master Race.
I mean, I am white, but...
This is something fun about. Continue.
All right. So yeah, I picked up... It's supposed to be good. So if you ever read The Dark Knight Rises, it was an animated movie. Probably one of the best Batman stories of all time.
Yeah.
So Frank Miller wrote a sequel called The Dark Knight Rises 2 something. Forgot what it was called. Strikes Again. That's what it was called. The Dark Knight Rises Dark Knight Strikes Again. Whatever. That comic graphic novel was the worst. It was horribly written. The art was grotesque to look at. Literally, it was really, really bad. Really bad. So people were like, why are you doing a third to make a trilogy? That sounds dumb. Like I said, I didn't really like the second one, but the third, I'm actually kind of excited for. I think it's going to be good. So the story so far, I just read the first issue. I won't spoil anything. Batman, once again, after the Strikes Again, went into retirement or whatever.
Because he always won't do that.
Because he always does that. But apparently he's back in Gotham, and you don't know why. And once again, the Commissioner Gordon's daughter, not daughter, Commissioner Yindel, from the first Dark Knight Rises, is like, I'm going to find the Batman, because this is dumb. Got to stop doing this, Batman.
Yeah.
Now, something at the end, you find out about this that makes you kind of intrigued to know what's happening to Bruce Wayne, who was really old at this time, and blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of excited for it. I think the art is way better. So far, I like it.
Yeah.
We'll see, though.
That's cool. I should check it out.
Yep. You should check it out.
So for now for me, what am I reading?
What are you reading?
It's not really reading, as watching. As you know me, I hate books.
Right.
I hate literacy. I hate all forms of literacy.
Are you serious?
If you can
We
read.
literally read comic books for a
Yeah, I
living.
know I do, but I hate it. I
Okay.
get mad every time I have
All
to
right,
read something.
tell me what you've been watching.
I've been
You
watching.
lazy.
I am a lazy
Jeez.
bum.
Bum.
I don't like reading.
What
But
about
I've been
you?
watching Harvey Birdman, Attorney
Nice.
at Law.
Oh
And
yeah.
for those of you who don't remember Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, it was an old show on Adult Swim
Oh my gosh.
based around old Hanna-Barbera cartoons and placed in hilarious legal situations.
Okay.
Super funny.
Yep.
You can find all the episodes on KissCartoon.com,
Kiss Cartoon.
and it's great. And I've been watching them all in a row.
Sure.
And it's not for everybody. It's only 15 minutes long. It's like Robot Chicken.
Sure.
So there's a bunch of episodes.
Okay.
It's very
I haven't watched that in forever.
yeah. It's a very certain specific style of humor.
Because he's a superhero.
He was a superhero.
So that's why I think when I was a kid,
Mhm.
I was really excited for it when I saw the
But
preview.
you didn't understand.
But I
it.
watched, and he was a talk show host or something.
That's
and
Space
I'm like,
Ghost. That's Space Ghost, Coast to Coast.
wait, what are you watching?
Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
What the frick have I been watching my whole life? Oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm confused. Matt, continue.
Anyway, it's great. It's not for the humor is not for everybody. It's weird. It's off the wall.
Yeah.
It's great though. I really enjoy it.
Okay.
Stephen Colbert was in it and voiced a
No
lot of
way.
characters in it.
For real?
Yeah, and you can just tell throughout the show, and it's really great. If you like Hanna-Barbera cartoons, if you like old cartoons and poking fun and stuff like that,
Sure.
it's great. It's a really fun show.
Have
So
you
go.
seen Birdman with Michael Keaton?
I did not, but I want to check that out now that I've seen Birdman. Attorney at Law.
I'm really upset that you haven't seen that.
I haven't seen
It's actually really, really good.
Well, there you go. So I'll be watching. Speaking of things I should see,
What should we see?
What do we think? We're trying to. Yeah, what should we see is what we're trying to look at, guys. We want all of you out there, Jabberwockies in the world, to give us examples of things you want us to read.
Yep.
More so for Zemreepa because you know I hate literacy,
Yeah.
or things that you think we should watch.
I'm a nerd.
And we will give you 3 issues or 3 episodes, and we will tell you whether it strikes out or not.
Whether we would give
it more or not, or
not.
if we're interested. So please let us know
Yeah, give us
some
some
things that
options.
you like, shows you like, movies you like, maybe even.
I'll try to do something each week.
Yeah, we'll try to do
If we
something
get-
each
if we
week.
get some good stuff.
And yeah, we're super excited.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So anything else? Is that it?
Stay cool.
Stay cool. Be excited. We have a lot more content coming out. We're super
We
excited.
got some new ideas.
Once again, shout out to Ain, Are You Not Entertained,
Thank
for
you.
helping us out.
Thank you,
And
guys.
for all of our fun stuff here. So make sure you check it out as they're doing Star Wars musical coming up. More info on that.
Yeah.
Check their website, ain.com.
Yeah.
Other than that, we'll see you next time. Be watching on Facebook.
Yep. I'll be posting some stuff.
Posting stuff on Facebook all the time.
Comment on it.
Comment.
Talk to me. I'm so alone.
So
I'm
alone.
literally posting these. I'm so excited
We're
about
so
things I post,
alone.
and someone just likes it, and I'm like, "Why did you like it?
Tell me
Tell
why.
me why, Hunter."
Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a pie.
Even if you wrote
Tell
that,
me why.
I would be happy.
So there you go. Any of you guys out there who's trying to form a boy band based around Watches Weekly, please comment. All that to say,
Have a good week.
have a good week. And remember,